Yo everybody, what's going on? This is Keegan from Kman Reviews. If you enjoyed this review, make sure you hit that like and the subscribe button. And if you have any opinions at all that you would like to share, make sure to leave them down in the comment section. Gurba, baby showers and funerals. Gurba is a Canadian rapper, songwriter, someone who I've actually had the pleasure to connect with a bit. I've been sharing a lot of his singles recently on my Instagram, and I also dedicated a full review to his collaborative EP with Jordan Gillespie, Anticipating Love, which if you're curious, there will be a link in the corner for you to go check that out. Since then, Gurba's been a little bit radio silent with one last track released in 2021 after that EP, but now coming into 2022, he began the release for this new EP of his rather early, and now it's finally here, Baby Showers and Funerals. I've actually been eagerly awaiting this EP for the past week now, and I'm finally excited to talk about it, so let's just dive right in. What are my thoughts on Baby Showers and Funerals? Let's find out as I review it track by track. We will start with the singles, with there only being one, with that being Wild Boy, which I've actually heralded as one of Gurba's best tracks I've ever heard, and that still holds true, and I think it's because this was the strongest case of the beat and Gurba himself actually working together. For those of you who haven't listened, Gurba has a very unique flow. I've talked about it during my Anticipating Love review, which to me comes off more like a stream of consciousness rather than a cohesive and well-structured flow, almost rambling off the beat at times, and trust me, we'll get to that a few times. But here, there is no such delivery. Instead, Gurba shows off his charisma and personality over this deeper, heavier rap beat with some soothing synth foundations that are just prominent enough to become a solid melody as he raps about how it should be common knowledge that he's well established in the game and how he is not one to mess with. Fantastic single. Now for the rest of the tracks. Intro, which I expected to just be a simple, quick introduction to the EP, but instead it's actually over 3 minutes long, a full cohesive track, and this song definitely has its moments, but as a whole, this one really didn't grab me in the same way. Let's talk about the positives first. I love how punchy and dense this beat is, the bass pulsating so frequently along with the pitched vocal melody, and the organic electric guitar that soars is a beautiful touch. Plus, Gurba's energy all across the track is infectious. It's hard not to just nod along with his exhilarating presence, but what throws the song off for me is just that flow. I've expressed my concern for it in the past. It's not for me, and this might be the most prominent I've ever heard it. So much so that even the rhyme schemes just don't feel like they connect. I think there's about 2 times on the entire song where the flow lines up properly, and that lasts for maybe 8 bars max. Either way, I still encourage you to listen to it for yourself and form your own opinion on it, but at least for me, didn't grab me like I think it wanted to. I'll pass. Woke Up 2, featuring Enrique, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, opens up with some fantastic vocal harmonies over a mellow, almost ghostly R&B sample until the rattling hi-hat and the rumbling bass make their way in to reveal arguably the best beat on the entire EP. It has such a deep, guttural groove, especially when the breakdown comes in at the end. Enrique goes first, and I love his presence. It's cocky, it's assertive, it's smooth as hell. It just works with the moody instrumental. Gurba, however, definitely a bit more hit or miss, not as staggeringly bad as on intro, but there are still some moments here like on the breakdown and at the end of the first verse that are just so awkward and really do take away from the enjoyment of the song. As it stands though, better than intro, but certainly not my favorite. Bounce Back is definitely a highlight for me, hands down. Certainly not as high as Wild Boy, but there are shining moments on this track that help the song stand out positively. For one, this beat is very minimal and subdued. The snare is upfront and snappy, the bass work is tastefully executed, and the little shimmering acoustic guitar melody is a nice touch that makes the song feel very warm as well. However, with this beat being rather light and tame, the song is really gonna live or die off the MC. And in my opinion, he's been very inconsistent with that so far, so I had a little bit of fear going into this, and while there are some moments where the verses feel a bit crammed, those moments are kept much smaller and incidental. For the most part, he keeps on the beat well, but another reason why I like this one is the cadence and the accompanying vulnerability of this song. As Gurba raps about being comfortable taking losses and admitting to having sins, describing cases of substance abuse in the verses, it's actually a pretty poignant song. Hourglass, featuring longtime collaborators Shaq Bruce and Just People Watching, also the longest track on the EP at just over 4 minutes, And yeah, I knew I was going to like this one going in. All three of these guys meld together so unbelievably well. A very pop rap centered song. The clinking beeps of the synth in the background give the track a serene undertone behind the bass and snare, packing the majority of the weight here. It's very simple and effective. Now the features. The chorus is performed by Just People Watching, such a beautiful voice, and serves as the main beacon behind the song. Gurba actually gets the first and third verse, which I prefer the first due to how much cleaner it comes off. But as a whole, a very good performance from the hosting MC. Shaq Bruce takes the second verse and comes through with some amazing bars, as the overall lyrical theme here just seems to be about hitting this rock bottom, waiting for all their efforts to be worth it in the end, but knowing that after this dark, eventually will come the light. Pretty great song here. And finally, the closer, My Sacrifice. Yes, spelled exactly like that. I didn't make a typo. Not how I would personally spell it, but that's besides the point. This one's definitely an experience of a song. It opens up with some melodramatic piano playing that make me think this is going to be some beautiful yet moving conscious rap song or something, but then out of nowhere these synths come in and make me feel like I'm right back listening to pop music from 2008. Despite that brief nostalgic moment, the rest of the beat actually works pretty well. The drums are heavy and commanding, and the higher pitched keys present a very sturdy melody to the track. My one gripe with this one, though, is that Gurba actually shows off his singing voice, and I kind of wish he hadn't. Look, it does need work to say the least, and while he can hold a note well enough, when he gets to his higher notes on the chorus, he's actually a bit too sharp and goes off key. It's that moment in particular that completely weighs down the hook. And the flow is back again to being a bit more hit or miss. So many times where he speeds up just to fit all the words into one line. As a whole, though, I can appreciate the musical ambition of a song like this, especially with this beat being this good, but the rest doesn't leave the best taste in my mouth. Overall, man, I just really wanted to like this EP more, and I'm not a fan of giving negative reviews to an artist who's smaller, but I just had so many thoughts I had to get out about this EP. My biggest complaint about this, however, and frankly a chunk of Gurba's music in general, is a lack of consistent phrasing. If that's his style, then he can continue to rock with it all he wants. I'm not trying to be this bully attempting to cut him down online, far from it. And hey, if you enjoy how he raps, please continue to. Do not let me convince you otherwise. But at least for me, in order to fully enjoy his music, that's the biggest crux that I would love to see resolved down the road. Aside from that, though, there was very little to hate when it came to production, lyrical content, and how his cadence and energy always seems to be the vanguard in his music. But combine everything together, and I feel like this came out a bit more like a mixed bag. I'm feeling a 6.5 out of 10 on this EP. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed that review. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.